I've got one movie and Cornelius has got one. So I guess we're going to talk about this excellent film that we saw earlier this year. I mean, this week or last week. Last week. And it's called The Black Phone. And it's a film that's directed by Scott Derrickson, who also did Sinister and some other things. But it stars Mason Thames, Madeline McGraw, Jeremy Davies, James Ransom, and Ethan Hawke. Finney Shaw is a shy but clever 13-year-old boy who's been held in a soundproof basement by a sadistic mass killer. When a disconnected phone on the wall starts to ring, he soon discovers that he can hear the voices of the murderer's previous victims, and they are dead set on making sure that what happened to them doesn't happen to Finney. And yeah, I guess all I can start off with is this is a great film. Like, I kind of wasn't really expecting a whole lot, even though I really did enjoy Sinister, so I was hoping I would at least get something, at least as good as that. And this thing actually exceeded my expectations, man. It's well directed, well acted, and some really good performances here, including there was one particularly breakout performance, and it was a fun ride. Also short, to the point, and they just knocked it out the park, man.
Yeah, I really like it. By the way, Derrickson also directed the first Doctor Strange. I guess I saw Sinister and a couple of his other films a little bit later on. But that's the film that I know him for the most for Doctor Strange. But this film is based on like a Joe Hill short story. Joe Hill's Stephen King's son, one of Stephen King's sons that writes. I overall love this film. I wasn't really expecting too much from it. I thought it was going to be some supernatural, a little bit more supernatural elements in it. But it was kind of a bit of a simple story, but it was just well played.
Yeah, that's the thing too. When I saw the trailer, I was like, I hope it's not too supernaturally, because I generally don't enjoy those films much. Like the exorcisms and the house possessions and things of that nature. But this was different. The way they used that device to tell this story was unique, and it kept me entertained. It wasn't it's kind of a combination of two things going on. I mean, you've got this serial killer, but then you've got this supernatural element that is, kind of linked to the killer.
Yeah, but not overbearing.
Yeah, not overbearing. It's not like, oh, you hear this creaky noise. What's that? Like they spend, half the movie trying to, follow strange sights and sounds. But it was good, man. Knocked it out of the park, man. It's also, I think, kind of a thriller, mystery as well, because we're essentially trying to track this killer down and save this boy, and so there's that detective element, that mystery element, and I think it's really played really well, especially through the sister. I think the name was Maddie McGraw, who plays the sister in this film.
Yeah,
and it just like she killed it, man. Her performance, I didn't see that coming, man. That they would put so much on her shoulders, because it's like, even though we're supposed to be following the main kid, but she steals it, man. Like every time she's on the screen, I was like, yo, she's killing this, man. Like it's wild to me to see such talent in someone so young, man. It's reminding me, what's crazy to me is everyone was giving was it Haley Joel Osment all that props for The Sixth Sense. Yeah. I think she blows him out of the water in this movie. It's just a way different role, man. It's just a way more meteor role, and she kills it, man. There's even a part that made me laugh, man. That one scene where she's praying to Jesus. I forgot what she said exactly.
Yeah.
Well, that got big laughs in the crowd, man. It's funny, man. But it's a great film, man. It doesn't overstay its welcome either. I think it's an hour and 40, but it's a snappy. You know what I'm saying? Hour and 40. It goes by pretty fast.
A lot happens in the film. I think it was just. It's just a well put together film. It's not too much fat on it. Overall, I don't really care about run times on films, but some of these, every now and then you'll have like a film like I like Zodiac a lot, and it's dealing with serial killer and everything, but that is a slow drag of a film. I know it might be close to 3 hours, but that was a slow drag of a film. This a lot of stuff happened in it, and it was like very well paced, and. Yeah, not. I didn't.
I can't think of anything I would have cut out of it. It's perfect. Like they're not wasting your time. Every moment of the screen time matters. You know, it's not just this gratuitous or these dragging shots where they're lingering on stuff. You know, just to do it. But it knocks it out of the park. Another thing I want to give credit to. Just the acting in general, man. They did a great job. Even Ethan Hawke, the way he's used in this film, you know, it's worked. You know, this is definitely one I'll probably add to the collection. You know, as soon as it hits, you know, digital or whatever, you know, I can purchase it because I could definitely see myself rewatching it. Even though sometimes with things like this, once I know the outcome, it's hard for me to get a second viewing. But this has so much other things in it, including the fact it's also a period piece, man. This is like the late 70s, so it's kind of wrapping you up in that, you know, blanket and putting you in that world at a time when, you know, there was a lot more of that's when the notorious serial killers were active. So
yeah, and you really setting it at that time kind of makes it a little bit more intense because you don't have the luxury of a cell phone where you could just call somebody or, you know, just have a cell phone and track somebody down, you know, and see where they are. It was done real well, and you know, playing out really well. Yeah,
really well. Nice twist. They even had a jump scare that got me. I didn't see coming. It got me, dude. I was like, you motherfucker! Like when it happened.
Oh yeah, in the basement. yeah.
You. I was like, oh, you got me there. But yeah. Well, it's a great film, man.
Those Starburst minis are like my favorite candy to have in the theater when I'm watching a movie. I spill those things on that scene. and that was a decent crowd of people in there. And, you know, I just thought that really caught me off guard. But like I said, this is a real well done film.
Definitely. So what do you got, man?
I saw the film Elvis. It's a Baz Luhrmann film. It stars Tom Hanks as Colonel Tom Parker and Austin Butler. And this might be the first time I've seen Austin Butler in a film, but he plays Elvis Presley. In this film, you pretty much they kind of updated a bit of the music, or like had like a bit of hip hop, like going in between some of the scenes and stuff. I really think this film flowed well. It is a Baz Luhrmann film. It wasn't as fantastical as Moulin Rouge or anything, but it was a well-told film about Elvis's life. It's a couple of things that I didn't know, and I had to look up, like, when I got home about, like, I know Elvis was in Memphis, but I didn't know he really interacted with people like B.B. King and such. And B.B. King does show up in the film. I know he was influenced by black music. A lot of people say he stole a lot from black people, but in this film, it really just shows that, you know, he was just a fan of that style of music, you know, black music. And, you know, he was pretty much doing what everybody that he was around was doing, you know, just singing some of the songs that were around and going from there. He was a bit crossover musician, so he brought like black music to white culture, or, you know, because everything was segregated back then, and, you know, he pretty much, you know, bridged that gap. Tom Hanks is real good in this film. He's playing Colonel Tom Parker. It's pretty much showing how that man was just bleeding, you know, had Elvis working and pretty much, you know, bleeding him of all his money and everything.
So was that Elvis's manager?
Yeah, that was Elvis's manager. One of the things about him that was interesting, he was originally from the Netherlands or somewhere. He was Dutch. He was in the U.S. like illegally. So yeah, and he didn't really, you know, he pretty much controlled Elvis. I think he was after Elvis made it big. He might have been Elvis might have been his only real income. Yeah, only client and everything, and you know, he did a bunch of merchandise, and then, you know, pretty much was he was probably worse than any manager because he actually got half instead of 10%. So that was kind of
that's crazy.
Yeah.
Usually with a manager or this kind of maybe 20%. You know what I'm saying? It's probably about an average. But dang, that's crazy, man.
Yeah, 50%. And that's one of the things is like he didn't take advice from BB King, because I think BB King was pretty much telling them that everything that he did on his own, you know. But Elvis had Colonel Tom Parker, and he was in his pockets. But one of the things I kind of like seeing about these type of films is like, with the exception of Ray, you know, in the Ray Charles film, I think just about everybody that was like an artist back then pretty much had problems with money after a certain point in time. You know, like what was that, Cadillac Records or whatever? That whole story where they were pretty much, you know, the artists were pretty much broke, even though they're making, you know, thousands, probably millions of dollars, but they were, you know, between them not managing their money right, and you know, in the record studios and stuff, pretty much cheating them out of money and everything. You know, they really, a lot of those people didn't really go old age, you know, rich or whatever.
Looking at Austin Butler's filmography, and it's got a few film roles. I guess the first one on here is a short film, The Faithful. Did Aliens in the Attic, My Uncle Raphael, The Intruders in 2015, Yoga Hoser, 2016, film called Dude. He did Dead Don't Die.
Yeah, I see he's in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he was Ted Swanson in that.
Yeah. Elvis, and he's going to be in Dune Part 2.
Okay.
Yeah. So, yeah. Oh, he's on his way, I guess. You know, he's still a young cat, so it's kind of interesting that, you know, he got this role. I do want to check this film out, so I'm probably going to check it out. I almost went to check it out yesterday, but for some reason, the theater up here, like those late shows were like early, man. I think the latest show was like 8 o'clock. But yeah, I think that's it, folks, man. We're going to wrap this up. This might be the shortest episode ever of the Canopy Film Show. But we're going to catch you guys soon. Excuse me. Again. This is Brew, man. Yeah, this is at Monkey Blood on Twitter, Instagram. Follow us at From Canopy on Twitter. For some reason, they took down the Instagram page, so I might have to make a new one. I think I messed up during the verification process, and I don't know. I can't get back into it. So if you've been looking for it and you haven't seen it, just know they took it down. So I'm going to try to reactivate it, and I'll let you guys know once I do, you know, make a new page for the Instagram. But yeah, other than that, also you can catch me on the Classes of Cinematics. We just put out the Crow episode. You know, had a lot of fun making that one, and we got more stuff on the way, folks. Definitely.
Yeah, I'm Cornelius Bros. You can find me on Facebook, Cornelius Bros, on Instagram, Cornelius Bros, on Twitter at Cornelius1976, and on TikTok at Cornelius1976. And I'll be pretty much in my basement watching movies.
All right, folks, we out of here, man. We'll catch y'all next time. Peace.